Welcome back to the deep dive. So, usually we're here with a pile of academic papers, historical documents, that kind of thing.
Right. Dense stuff.
Very dense. But today we're diving into something else entirely. It's a text called Gallus Citrus, the Book of Bok.
And it is, it's just a masterpiece. It's this incredible piece of, you could call it magical realism, I suppose.
I think you have to.
Yeah, and it's rooted so specifically in Ashley County, Arkansas. But the themes are, they're universal. It's about ego, bureaucracy, the nature of time itself.
The author, K. Brad Barfield, actually called it absurd for absurd times.
And that's exactly what it is. Our mission today is to, as the book itself kind of demands, do a slow walk through this whole cosmology.
Slow walk through a high-stakes, low-dignity adventure.
That is the perfect way to put it.
So, okay, this isn't your typical fantasy setup. No dragons, no ancient prophecies in the traditional sense. It starts with a farm, a ridge, and a really, really small mistake.
A bureaucratic mistake, which is the best kind. But first, the land itself. The prologue sets this up beautifully. The ridge isn't just a hill. The book calls it an ancient bruise.
A bruise?
Yeah, a scar from when the Ouachita Mountains collapsed millions of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the geography itself is a wound. And that's critical because it establishes the central idea of the book.
Which is?
The land remembers everything. Everything. It's like a perfect archive, just waiting for someone to forget its original purpose.
That's such a powerful idea. The land isn't a setting. It's a living document.
It's an active character.
Yeah.
And it was given an initial purpose, a first request.
Right. This comes from a quiet hunter, long before any maps were drawn.
Exactly. The text calls him the first person to walk without claiming. He didn't want to own it. He just whispered to the land, keep this place alive. And the land took that on as its core programming.
So it's an ecological contract.
A sacred one. To maintain balance, to remember the shape of the water and the trees.
Okay, so we have this perfectly balanced, memory-filled land operating under a single, simple directive. And then, of course, humans show up and break it.
And the way it breaks is just. It's so beautifully mundane. It's not a dark lord or a magical cataclysm. It's 1807, and a government surveyor shows up.
To impose order on the chaos.
Right. And he mismeasures a boundary line.
By how much?
37 yards east.
That's it. 37 yards.
That's it. A tiny error, probably to avoid some squabble between homesteaders. But that one single incorrect straight line forced onto the land's natural curves, it shattered reality.
Wow.
The pressure of all that stored memory forced into the wrong shape.
Yeah.
It cleaved existence into three frequencies.
Okay, let's break those down. Frequency A, the industrial realm.
That's the world born from that forced straight line. It's rigid, it's logical, it's all about order. Think paper mills, steam, bureaucracy, a world where the schedule is God and any deviation is a crime.
A world born out of the land's resentment, basically.
Yes, exactly. Then you get frequency C, the citrus realm.
The opposite, total chaos.
It's the overflow, the part that refused to be contained by a straight line. It's unstable, defined by metaphysical drift, and it's tied directly to our main character, a certain rooster.
It's the realm of pure, undiluted ego. And it has a smell, right?
Oh, yeah. Orange peel meeting gasoline, the signature scent of chaos.
And finally, frequency G, the green realm.
The original blueprint, the one that held the first request. It didn't fight back. It just withdrew.
Where did it go?
Into the roots, into the memory of the oldest trees. It's the quiet realm, just waiting for a keeper to come along and restore the original truth. So you have order, chaos, and origin all stacked on top of each other, literally fighting over a 37-yard mapping error.
It's definitely absurd for absurd times.
And that brings us to our inciting incident, which is somehow even more absurd.
Right.
The disappearance of General Beauregard.
Let's get into it. The story kicks off with Chapter 1, the morning the general did not crow.
And we're dropped right into Egypt Township, a place that is never, ever silent. You've got tree frogs arguing theology, you've got the coyote choir.
And Bronchi the donkey's interpretive braying. I love that description.
It's perfect. So in a place where silence is physically impossible, the absence of one specific sound is a cataclysm.
And that sound is the general's crow, which the book says is less an animal sound and more a policy announcement.
He's half Napoleon, half internet startup CEO. His entire existence is a projection of authority.
So at 4:32 a.m., when that policy announcement doesn't happen...
It's a rupture in the fabric of the universe. The narrator immediately sees the shape of silence. It's not just quiet, it's a void, a hole where something should be.
And the family on the farm, they get it immediately. This isn't just a missing chicken.
Oh no. Memo, the matriarch, lets out a diagnostic sigh that apparently changes the local barometric pressure.
And Papa, the old farmer, just says, barometer's off, fence line's too still. They know the whole system has crashed.
Because the conductor of the orchestra has just vanished.
So the narrator heads to the coop, which is 64 steps away. A military metric, of course.
Of course. And along the way, we get witness statements from the other animals.
The donkey's assessment is my favorite.
A timeline is malfunctioning.
He just knows he's the philosophical core of the whole operation.
And then there's Pig Okra, who starts her grunting cycle.
Which is the farm's DEFCON system, right?
Basically. Third grunt means war. They're all realizing that the general's ego is so powerful, his physical absence has destabilized reality.
And at the coop, the door is ajar, which is a moral failing in the general's eyes. But the real proof, he's gone.
His Medal of Honor.
A big chief kindergarten badge.
The physical anchor of his entire identity. By leaving it behind, he's basically shed his mortal coil. He's gone in a cosmological sense.
And that's when June Cooter shows up.
Ah, June. The reluctant hero. She arrives already disappointed, wearing boots that cost more than the fence and carrying a yellow legal pad.
She's there to document the crisis.
She doesn't ask what happened. She diagnoses it, a catastrophic breach of the schedule.
Her verdict. The rooster has abandoned his post.
Which, to her, and to the general's worldview, is the highest crime.
And then they find the first clue. The single red feather.
Which June immediately, brilliantly calls a legal notice of traversal. She's translating metaphysical chaos into bureaucratic language.
It's why she's the one. But it's Bronchi who gives the final chilling verdict.
The rooster has crossed into another frequency. And just like that, a missing chicken case becomes a multi-dimensional rescue mission.
The best investigative team in literary history.
Without a doubt.
So the hunt is on. They're heading into the woods, which are not behaving like normal woods.
No. June is the first to really articulate it. She says the woods are overlapping, sweet gum trees are where cane brakes should be, the whole geography is shuffling itself.
The ridge is re-indexing.
Yes, because the general's ego tore a hole in the fabric and now the land is trying to patch it by pulling in different temporal layers.
This brings us to the idea of the time skid. Can you unpack that a bit? It's not straightforward time travel.
Right, it's not like he jumped in a machine. The general was just in the wrong place at the wrong time when the woods themselves glitched. He walked into a seam where frequencies A, B, and C all briefly touched.
So he was sort of stretched across time for a second.
Exactly. And while they're tracking him through this shifting landscape, they hear the first real sign of another frequency bleeding through.
The chimes of the unseen.
The ghost of the old mill whistle from frequency A, the industrial realm. It's an echo from 1955, confirming that the timelines are contaminated.
It confirms what Papa always said about the places that don't stay where you put them.
He knew. The old wisdom knew.
And this all leads them to a clearing, to the source of the rupture.
The frequency C bloom, the nexus. The ground is scorched, and there's this thick citrus-colored haze.
And the smell, orange peel and gasoline.
The smell of Gallus Citrus. The smell of pure, volatile ego.
June has a theory for this, right? It's tied directly to the general's personality.
She posits that his ego, being the densest substance in the county, literally traveled ahead of his body.
How does that even work?
His self-importance has actual mass. When he stepped into that temporal overlap, the sheer weight of his ego separated from his physical form and created a gravity well, pulling the chaos of frequency C into their reality.
He literally thought himself into another dimension.
He's a singularity of self-regard.
And they find another feather there, an iridescent one from a different version of him. And then they hear him.
Or a version of him. He's a shimmering, distorting silhouette in the haze, and he lets out this broken crow. June calls it a distress call. Not from him, but from the temporal fold itself.
He's so important that his distress is making reality itself sick. He's caught between multiple versions of his own ego, all fighting for dominance.
And then, of course, Papa shows up.
Complaining that his barometer is vibrating. The perfect, grounded counterpoint to the cosmic horror unfolding.
But then the general's footprint appears, his temporal signature.
Glowing, midair, and it flares into a vision of him screaming to be released. That's the anchor point of the whole mess. So June gives the official warning. This is a dangerous place. Timeline drift, identity echoes, and potential multiplicity events.
The danger isn't dying. It's being erased, becoming just another flickering echo of yourself.
But they have to go in.
They have to. And the sensation of entering is described as falling upward.
What does that tell us about this space?
That it's a pocket dimension, completely self-contained with its own temporary laws of physics. It was created for one purpose, to contain the overflow of the general's ego. The architecture is all wrong. Floating fence posts, shadows moving on their own.
And inside, it's just dozens of Beauregards.
Flickering, overlapping echoes of him, all demanding to be the center of attention. But the real one, the true general, is at the very center. And he's silent.
Which is the most dangerous thing he could possibly be.
Because he's the operating system. If he goes silent, the whole program crashes. His silence is an existential threat. June knows if they don't get him out, the whole fold will collapse like a bad souffle.
And the rescue comes down to a guitar chord.
A resonance pull. June plays this one specific, deep chord that's tuned to the general's core frequency. It's metaphysical tuning.
It shatters all the echoes.
And pulls the one true general back into a single being. He comes roaring back, not with thanks, but with a new business insight.
The market has corrected.
He thinks he just survived a hostile takeover. They barely get out before the whole dimension implodes behind them.
So they've got him back, but he's not the same. And the first thing he does is prove he's learned absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all. He launches into this triumphant speech, "I seen the other side of time, and they got a market over there." He now sees himself as a pioneer of interdimensional capitalism.
And the farm reacts immediately. The hens call for a formal review.
It's an HR crisis. But Memo delivers the ultimate punishment.
She threatens to send him to the preacher.
The one force of normalization he cannot defeat. But the real problem is metaphysical. We get the first citrus residue event.
Gold sparks are literally shooting out of his feathers.
He's leaking timeline residue. He's contaminated. A walking, talking tear in reality. And that instability acts like a beacon.
It attracts the attention of Frequency A, the industrial realm.
We know they're watching because that Santa Mill whistle blows again, only this time it's louder, clearer. It's not an echo anymore.
The 1955 timeline is actively leaking through.
And the general, of course, declares himself the bridge between worlds. He has a full-blown industrial vision.
He sees the mill, the pipes, the steam.
And most importantly, he sees himself on the catwalk, guiding the machine. He sees a version of himself that belongs in that world of rigid order. He's syncing with it.
And that synchronization literally splits the ridge in two.
You can see both at once. The current ridge and a sepia-toned 1955 version, an industrial seam opens up, and you can see the Iron Giant paper machine right there.
And Beauregard, seeing his destiny, just charges right in.
Which is the worst possible thing he could do. He enters a timeline where he already exists. And that's how we get the year of two Beauregards.
Our chaotic Citrusora general versus
the 1955 shift supervisor, paper machine, #1 general.
The contrast must be incredible.
It's perfect. Our general is iridescent and unpredictable. The industrial general is bigger, shinier, and wears a foreman's hard hat comb. It's art versus industry.
And the insults are just chef's kiss.
The 1965 general looks at our Beauregard with pure contempt. Says he looks like a chicken somebody ran through a color TV.
But the real insult is the professional one.
You ain't unionized. That's the ultimate condemnation from the industrial realm. You're non-compliant labor.
Our general's response is to try and merge with him. A joint stock merger.
Which the industrial general interprets as an attempt to unionize my soul. It's an ideological war.
And when they physically clash, the timeline starts to collapse.
The narrator has to physically drag our general back just as the seam snaps shut. But the damage is done. The alarm has been sounded in the industrial realm.
And now the boss is coming.
The final boss.
This is where things get serious. The first rooster of iron emerges.
And the comedy kind of drains away for a moment. This thing is terrifying. It's colossal, made of iron and steam, talons like boat anchors. Its comb glows like a furnace. It is the logic of the industrial realm made manifest.
And its first words.
Smells non-compliant.
Chilling.
He's the ultimate auditor. He's not there to fight. He's there to correct a system error. He initiates a cross-frequency audit of non-compliance.
He sees Beauregard as a bug in the code.
A software error.
Yeah.
And what do you do with a software error that's crashing the system? You delete it. He threatens to reset all of reality.
The stakes are suddenly universal, all because of one rooster's ego.
But that same ego is what saves them. Beauregard, in a full of pure, unadulterated vanity, challenges the Iron Rooster to a duel.
For the title of General Beauregard of all known frequencies.
It's so petty and so cosmic all at once. The rules are, of course, highly regulated. Loser sorts cracked corn for eternity.
A fate worse than death for him.
And the Iron Rooster escalates immediately, activates his industrial core. blasts of steam justified by emergency protocols. It's pure bureaucratic power.
Our general is completely outmatched. His chaos can't stand up to that kind of rigid force.
He's losing. Until June intervenes again.
With her guitar.
She realizes the Iron Rooster's strength is his perfect, unwavering frequency. So she doesn't try to match it. She introduces a dissonant chord, a note of imperfection.
A glitch in the system.
Exactly. The Iron Rooster freezes for just a fraction of a second, and that's all Beauregard needs. His chaotic, unpredictable nature is the one thing the system can't account for. He surges forward and wins.
But he doesn't destroy the Iron Rooster.
No, and this is the big pivot. The Iron Rooster returns, defeated, and says, "Teach me."
The system admits it has failed.
The Iron Rooster explains that pure, rigid order led to stagnation. Efficiency plateaued. Innovation ceased. He needs chaos to evolve. He sees our general as the embodiment of adaptive change.
So General Beauregard becomes an industrial consultant.
The most unqualified consultant in history. His first lesson, winging it. Improvisation.
How does a giant Iron Rooster wing it?
Badly. Very, very badly. He interprets improvisation as vandalism and survival protocols. He starts smashing things and trying to fly.
He has no middle ground between perfect order and total destruction.
But the lesson works because he experiences failure. He learns he has to accept pain to grow beyond his original programming.
And this leads to the Citrus Iron Accord, a peace treaty.
A negotiated reality. No more timeline resets. And most importantly, the frequency schedule.
The unionized time itself.
They do. The industrial realm gets midnight to 4 a.m. The farm gets the day. Dawn and dusk are shared access hours. It's a cosmic timeshare agreement.
And it's sealed when the Iron Rooster bows.
And calls him Beau, a sign of genuine respect. The immediate threat is over, but only because order admitted it needed a little chaos.
So a new, weird normal settles over the farm.
Very weird. The air has timeline dust in it now. The sky at dawn and dusk is a mix of citrus orange and steam blue.
And there's constant low-level supervision. Phantom mule teams from 1955 flicker in and out.
And the 1955 industrial general, the shift supervisor, is always there. A silhouette in the barn light, just watching, making sure Beauregard fills out his temporal paperwork.
But this accord, it's just a truce between the two broken pieces, A and C. It doesn't account for the original wound. It doesn't account for frequency G.
And the stability of the accord seems to be the signal it was waiting for. The ridge begins to pulse with this deep green light. The root realm awakens.
And a figure emerges.
The projection of memory itself. A huge, tall being of pure green light that speaks without words. It communicates through feeling, through origin.
And it has a warning.
3 frequencies cannot coexist without balance. The current truce is just a patch. It's not a solution.
The demand is simple. You must restore what was removed.
It wants its history back. It wants the original geometry restored.
And this is where June has to finally accept her role as keeper, which she resists.
She does. She says she's barely a person, that she can't even balance her own checkbook. She feels completely unqualified for this cosmic job.
But the land has a different set of hiring criteria.
It's one of the best lines in the book. We do not choose by power. We choose by perception.
She was chosen because she was the only one who saw all 3 worlds clearly. The chaos, the industry, and the deep memory.
Her analytical mind, the thing that made her seem out of place, is her greatest power. She's not a warrior, she's a translator.
And she accepts. She becomes the keeper.
And her first task is to fix that 1807 mistake. The land tells her she needs a keeper of the past, someone with knowledge older than written language.
She has a vision of him, he who knows the water paths.
The original hunter who made the first request. His spirit is the memory of the land before it was broken.
But summoning him causes even more instability. The timeshare.
A literal tear in time opens up, and random bits of history start pouring out. A caddo hunter, a lumberman, a Confederate soldier. The land is searching his corrupted files for the right memory.
June and the ancient man are struggling to hold this void closed, and then someone steps out of it.
The right person. Or the wrong person who is now the right person. A man in a frock coat with a leather ledger. He looks real, solid, and extremely irritated.
Surveyor J.M. LaCroix, the man who made the mistake in the first place.
The land, with its perfect archival memory, summoned the exact bureaucrat who broke it and demanded he fix his work. It's cosmic accountability.
And he confirms it. It's right there in his ledger. Corrected ridgeline moved 37 yards east. A tiny act of administrative convenience to solve a local dispute.
And that one act tore reality apart. It all comes back to that. It's a story arguing that the universe can be broken by bad paperwork.
So the final team is assembled. June, the keeper, for perception, the ancient man for memory, and the surveyor for the record.
You need all three to fix it, and the three frequencies align to give them their final command. Restore the line.
And the warning if they fail.
The land will split its own time to correct it. It will self-destruct to heal itself.
So they have to remap the ridge to put the line back where it belongs, and the ancient one gives the first lesson.
Restoration begins by remembering the original shape of things. It all comes back to listening to the land instead of forcing straight lines onto it.
So after this incredible deep dive, it feels like we've seen a whole cosmology born and almost destroyed.
And it all comes from this beautiful, absurd premise. The high-stakes crisis triggered by the lowest dignity catalyst imaginable. A rooster's ego.
The genius is that contrast, isn't it? The sheer profundity of the consequences versus the ridiculousness of the cause.
It's a perfect metaphor.
Yeah.
And the lesson the keeper learns is that all systems, whether they're chaotic like the general or rigid like the iron rooster, need balance. They need a connection back to the original truth.
And that original truth wasn't some mystical secret. It was just geography. It was the fact of the land. Acknowledge the 37-yard mistake. Listen.
We started by saying this book is absurd for absurd times, and I think what it shows is that our biggest, most reality-shattering problems often come from a single, tiny, forgotten bureaucratic error, a rounding error in the code of existence.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What 37-yard mistakes are we making right now in our own world that will split our reality in 200 years?
That's a terrifying thought. And while the ridge is stable for now, under this strange new accord, the root realm left us with one final, ominous thought.
The story isn't over.
Not by a long shot. The last message to June was, the keeper will not be the only one awakened.
So if the land needed an ancient memory bearer and a 19th century surveyor to fix one boundary line, who else is it going to need to summon to keep this fragile peace?
What other forgotten knowledge, what other historical figures are waiting on Ashley County's cosmic summons list? And what price will have to be paid to bring them back? That's the question that just hangs in the air at the end.